Welcome back to another NHL 25 ESHL build. This time we have the goalie build that I'm going to be rocking at least for the start of the year. It's kind of similar to the goalie build that we have last year, but like I said in the player builds, the goalie builds are actually a little bit different this year as well. So what we're going to be rocking with for our archetype is going to be a hybrid goaltender. I decided to go 6'3". I know a lot of goalies like to go 6'5". However, I feel like when I go 6'5", it gives me some bad animations for like low shots and stuff. So I feel like 6'3" gives me a good mix of being able to save those both high and be able to get down for those low shots as well. Then for our weight, we're actually going to go 190 this time because as you see, 191, 190, you get that extra agility. So agility is super important for me as a goaltender. I'm not exactly how you feel as a goaltender, but if you feel any different, let me know down in the comments below, because for goalies, I feel like agility is an absolute necessity. Catching preference is completely up to you, whether you want to catch left or right-handed. I do catch left-handed for my goalie, and abilities and boosts we will come back to as always. Now, first for your low attributes, this one may be a little bit controversial, and you may not want to do this to the extent that I do this, but what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to add 3 to both glove low and stick low, and I'm going to take 5 off 5 hole. I know 85 hole is a little bit low, but we will make up for a little bit later in the build. I promise y'all that. Next, for your hands attributes, you just want to add 1 to glove high, 1 to stick high, and take 3 off your passing, because unfortunately, this attribute category is the same as last year. I wish you were able to get that glove high and stick high a little bit higher, but unfortunately we can't. Then for your quickness attributes, you're going to want to add 2 to your agility, 2 to your endurance, add 1 to durability and 1 to speed, then just take 3 off your poke check, because I'll be honest, to me, poke checking does not feel like a super important attribute for a goaltender. If you time your poke checks right, if you challenge the shooter correctly when you go for a flying poke check, or just when you poke check it in general, I know it'll give you faster animations and stuff like that, but I don't really see a difference in terms of the way that I play goalie. So if you use your poke check a lot, you may want to change this up a little bit, but for me, this is how I decided to do the quickness category. And finally, for your last attribute category, we're just going to add 5 to our rebound control, add 1 to recover, then take 5 off breakaway, take 3 off your vision, and take 4 off your angles. As vision, I don't really see a whole lot of screens and 3s. If you use this build in 6s, you may want to actually add a little bit more to your vision and maybe take off of like recover a little bit. But being for 3s, you're not going to get screened as much. And breakaways, you will be facing a lot of those, but the breakaway attribute doesn't feel super important to me. And same thing with angles as well, is that attribute, unless you're using the instincts every single time. I use the instincts a good amount, and I still feel like I make a good amount of saves regardless of my angles attribute. Now, going back to our abilities, for our zone ability, like I said, we are going to compensate for that low 5-hole attribute, and the best way to do that is going to be butterfly effect. This way we're able to drop down quicker, make better butterfly saves, and hopefully kind of cancel out that low 5-hole attribute. Then for your superstar abilities, you are of course more than welcome to go with whatever you want to. However, the 2 that I'm deciding to go with is light work for our first one. This should help counter those close quarters, those kind of hard shots, all that good stuff, especially when they're close to the net. It'll at least give you a chance as a goaltender, because if an opponent has close quarters and you don't have light work, there's probably a 70% chance that puck's going in the net, even if you're in perfect position. Then for our second one, I decided to go with no timer. I feel like this is an absolute necessity, especially this year with the new one-timers. The only chance you're going to have of saving somebody's 1T if they time it correctly is most likely if you have this no timer ability on. And finally, for your boost, for our first one, we are of course going to go with quick 5-hole, because even though we do have butterfly effect and everything, we still would like to try and get that 5-hole attribute to be as high as we possibly can. So 82 isn't great, but it's at least better than 80. Then for our second one, you are of course more than welcome to go with whatever you want to for this one, but I actually decided to go with scramble rebound, and the reason being is I feel like rebounds are just so prominent in this game, especially once you start getting a little pressure from the other team and stuff. Your goalie just goes and does some absolute nut ass animations, and they're just so dumb, some of the animations you get. but higher rebound control will hopefully help with this and help you corral some of those rebounds so your goalie doesn't go flopping like a dolphin all over the place. And this is, of course, going to be the goalie build that we are rocking with for the start of the year. If you do enjoy the video and you are enjoying these builds, please feel free to drop a like, comment any other types of builds you want to see me create on ESHL down below, and comment also some of your favorite NHL players that you want to see me recreate in ESHL down below, as we will be starting up the player build series again very soon. And of course, sub with noties on so you don't miss any builds or your favorite players in the future. I greatly appreciate you watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out, y'all.